next cycle, I believe this is going to happen, because I think we're going to reach a point where on the public company level, Michael Saylor's big bet is going to be like, it's going to be undeniable at that point that he made the right decision. And then on the nation state level, also, with Nayib Bukele's decision with El Salvador, it's going to become undeniable. There's no amount of legacy media spin, New York Times, doctoring photos and all of that stuff that is going to be able to obfuscate what, to use Greg's words, what the math is. So yeah, I'm really, really excited for the next cycle. Now, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I believe the last cycle was cut short for two reasons. I think that a lot of paper Bitcoin was being sold with FTX and all of that stuff that was going on there. But I also believe with the primary reason is the CCP mining ban. And that literally happened in the middle of the last Bitcoin bull run. And you'll see the hash rate and the price literally directly correlated as if they're tied together. And I believe it brought down the price because those miners needed to sell Bitcoin in order to relocate to more friendlier jurisdictions. So I guess my question is, do you believe in the theory of the diminishing returns theory? Are the best opportunities for Bitcoin behind us? Are we still in the beginning phases of this? I know, Greg, you touched upon this earlier, but I just want to get your thoughts on this, because my belief, my spidey senses is telling me that I think that the next cycle is going to really surprise people, maybe not to the downside like last time, but perhaps to the upside.
Yes. Is that enough? No. Okay. So yes, I agree with you, because Bitcoin has to attain a certain market cap in order for it to be able to be invested in by the biggest funds in the world. Okay. Because if Bitcoin is a micro cap asset, the biggest funds in the world can't put even 1% of their asset base into it without absolutely causing that price to skyrocket. Nor would they want to put even less than 1% in, because you probably don't allocate an analyst's time to this asset class if you're going to put less than a 1% allocation. So, I'm not sure if you guys know who Worth is. He's WORTH on Twitter. I can't remember what his handle is, but he used to be he's from Arkansas, portfolio manager, lots of years in the market like me, long, short equity guy. Alex Stancic, this is my second shameless plug for Alex, I think, on your podcast here. Stancic says to me, he goes, Foss, what do you think the market cap of Bitcoin needs to be in order for it to get really big money involved? And I said somewhere around where we are right now, 500 billion to up to 4 trillion. Like once it reaches 4 trillion, all of the biggest accounts in the world can get an allocation without materially changing the price, or more importantly, they can get an analyst's time in there to analyze this investment. So my answer was between half a trillion and 4 trillion. Worth answered with a number, if I'm not mistaken, which was 5 trillion. And so there's two opinions of people who think that you need to attain a certain market size in order for the biggest money in the world to get a proper allocation to it for liquidity and analyst time. And then once they get that allocation, they tell two friends, and so on and so on. And all of a sudden, Bitcoin becomes a standard holding in all of the portfolios around the world, which allows it to go from less than 1% of total global financial assets, right? We're actually at less than 1/10 of 1% right now. It can go from 1/10 of 1% of total global financial assets up to 5%. Okay. That's a 50 bagger easily. Now you could say, damn, I missed Bitcoin going from 1,000 to 30,000. But guess what? It can still go from 30,000 to 1.5 million, and it's the same 30 bagger. In fact, no, that's a 50 bagger. So it's because the market grows, and it's the law of big numbers. And when the market gets big enough for the big money to get in, you can see the same types of returns as you saw when it was a micro cap. So I'm not that concerned that the biggest returns are behind us. What I may say is the volatility will decrease, but I don't think the price appreciation opportunity has decreased at all. But yeah, maybe the volatility has decreased. So that even brings more money into the fold. I don't know. Bitcoin doesn't care. At the end of the day, it's still so stupid cheap. I'm not going to argue whether the last cycle was cut short or anything like that, because we're dealing with rounding errors here, Nico. Yeah, someone just said at 500,000 is cheap. It is, because I think it's going to 2 million in today's dollars. 2 million. Am I right? I don't know, but I'm at a much higher certainty than the market odds are giving me right now that I'm going to be right. So yeah, you can get those returns, and that's the asymmetry of the trade or the investment, and that's why everybody needs that exposure.
100%. And James, do you want to follow up that?
Yeah, I mean, something that Greg said, I agree with all that. But something that he said at the end there that's really important is in today's dollars, $2 million in today's dollars, which we're all dollar centric and we're all just thinking about US dollars. And I do believe the dollar will be the last one standing, or one of the very last ones standing. But something else to think about is it's not just US dollars that this is, think about the people in Venezuela who are experiencing 80, 100% inflation, think about the people in Lebanon who can't even get their money out of the bank. I don't think they're not thinking about this as a trade or an investment. This is like a lifeline for them. They need to be able to have an asset that they can hold on to, take with them anywhere in the world, and it still retain its value for the work that they've put into the world. They've been compensated for that. They need to be able to keep that. It's completely unfair for them not to. And so this gives them that ability. So in their terms, I mean, the best returns may still be ahead.